The story begins with a sharpshooter named Dasa, who has been hiding in a tunnel for the past several hours. Actually, she is waiting here for her target. Dasa has been given the task of killing a government officer at a nearby airport. A few moments later, a plane lands on the runway. As soon as Dasa spots her target, she takes the shot, finishing him with a single bullet from several kilometers away. Dasa executes her work with such precision that the guards present there don't even realize who fired the bullet or from where it was shot. After completing her mission, Dasa goes to her mother's grave where her father is already present. Here we learn another thing about Dasa. Whenever she kills someone with her rifle, she keeps the bullet casing with her. Later, she hands all those bullet casings over to her father. Actually, Dasa was a contract killer. She used to kill people for money and had already killed many. She didn't enjoy killing people at all, but now this had become her profession. So by giving those bullet shells to her father, her sorrow would lessen a little. Dasa tells her father, "I've got a new project, one that will last an entire year. I might not be able to meet you during this time." To this, Dasa's father replies, "Every year you come and hand me a few bullet casings, but next year that won't happen. My cancer is now in its last stage. I don't have much time left, and if I don't die naturally in the coming days, then on February 14th, Valentine's Day, I'll end my own life, because now I have no reason to live. Your mother is gone, and you only visit me once or twice a year because of your work, so maybe this is our last meeting." Hearing this, tears well up in Dasa's eyes. Now the scene shifts and we see the second lead character of this story, Levi. Levi's life was not going well at all. He often had terrifying nightmares, and sleep stayed far away from his eyes. One night, when he wakes up from a bad dream, Levi leaves his house and walks to the seashore. There, he feels a little better and starts writing something in his diary. Just then, Levi suddenly receives a message on his phone. The message contains an address, and he is instructed to reach there as soon as possible. Without wasting any time, Levi reaches a military base where he meets a lady officer named Bartow. During their conversation, we learn that Levi is not an ordinary man. He was once an army officer, though now he's retired. Not just that, he was also a deadly sniper who has killed more than 200 people through sniping. Bartow tells Levi, "I want to send you on a mission because you're a very skilled sniper. Only you can do this." But before sending him on the mission, Bartow asks Levi, "If you go on this mission, is there anyone behind who will miss you?" Hearing this, Levi feels something strange inside, but then he answers, "No, there's no one left for me in this world." Hearing this, the lady officer says, "Get ready. In a few hours you'll be sent on the mission and you'll have to stay there for 1 year." After that, Levi is sedated. When he opens his eyes, he finds himself inside an airplane. Levi can't understand what's happening, where he's being taken, so he asks one of the soldiers present there, "Where are you taking me?" But the soldier gives no answer. He simply says, "Hand over your ID and your watch. You'll get everything back when your mission is complete." After a while, the soldier tells him, "It's time for you to jump from the plane. In a few minutes, we'll be entering a no-flying zone. We don't have permission to go any further." He only adds one thing. After landing below, you must walk 32 kilometers north on foot. Then you'll reach your mission site. Then he's handed a parachute, and as soon as the plane door opens, Levi jumps and lands safely. But the real game begins now. He has to cover a distance of 32 kilometers on foot. Walking continuously for 2 days, Levi finally reaches that place. He sees that it's an extremely deserted area, so silent that not even birds are visible. Just then, Levi meets a man named JD. JD had been stationed there on a mission for 1 year. Now his duty is over, and Levi will take his place. JD takes Levi toward a watchtower. When they reach the top of the tower, Levi still doesn't understand what his task is. When he asks this question to JD, JD replies, "There's a very deep pit here which is called the God Pit. It's a mysterious and extremely deep pit. No one has ever reached its bottom. Your job is very simple. You have to guard this pit." After that, JD tells Levi about the strict rules of this place. He says, "You can call headquarters only once a month. No matter what happens, don't expect to stay connected to the outside world." This tower, which we call the West Tower, is exactly opposite the East Tower. That one belongs to Russia. There's also a guard station there doing the same duty, but no contact between the two of you is allowed. You must focus only on your duty. And yes, JD continues, always be prepared for any upcoming danger, because you can be attacked here at any time. There are automatic guns installed here, and a lot of landmines buried below. And one last thing, if you ever hear a loud siren, don't think twice, just run away from here. JD adds, I don't know why this rule exists, but I'm telling you exactly what the previous worker told me. Levi listens carefully to everything JD says, but he still has one question in his mind. He asks, what exactly is here that needs such strict security? At that moment, JD pulls out a grenade and throws it into the deep pit. As soon as the grenade explodes inside the pit, a strange, terrifying sound begins to echo from within. That sound wasn't human at all. It came from something hidden in the darkness. JD looks toward Levi and says, the sound you're hearing, it belongs to the creatures we call Hollowmen. These creatures live inside the pit, and your duty here is to make sure that none of them ever comes out of it. It is said that in 1940, the U.S. Army sent 2,400 soldiers inside this pit so that they could destroy all the creatures living within it. But till today, not a single one of those soldiers has ever returned alive. And now, JD began preparing to return home after explaining every detail and providing complete information to Levi, because he had completed his one-year duty here. Now, Levi was to take over and serve here for 1 year. JD says goodbye to Levi and leaves from there. He was very happy because after a full year, he was finally going home, but he had no idea that something was about to happen to him. After reaching the pickup location, a helicopter arrives to take him away. The helicopter drops down a rope for him, and JD starts climbing up using that rope. A soldier sitting inside the helicopter first asks to confirm JD's identity. JD provides all his information, but as soon as he finishes, the soldier shoots JD and then cuts the rope, sending him falling straight down. At this point, one thing became clear. Whoever comes to this place never returns alive. Then we're shown the next day's scene. Levi begins performing his duty. First, he checks a few of the reports there and then reloads the automatic guns that had run out of bullets. Days go by like this. Then a full month passes. Now, Levi begins to feel bored in this place. He thinks, do I really have to live here alone for an entire year? No one to talk to, no form of entertainment? So, to pass the time, he decides to read the books kept in the cupboard. When he takes out the books, his eyes suddenly fall on the wall behind the cupboard. There are several notes written on that wall. These were notes left by all the people who had performed duty in this tower before him. Each note spoke of fear, loneliness, and the dangers of the Hollowman. One day, Levi hears the sound of machinery coming from the west tower. He quickly picks up his telescope and tries to look towards the east tower in the distance, and there he sees a woman. She is none other than Dasa, who had been given duty at the east tower because of her excellent sniping skills. The moment Levi sees Dasa's beauty, he can't take his eyes off her, but he can't talk to her because doing so would be a violation of the rules. And Dasa already knows that there is a guard posted at the west tower. Days continue to pass this way, and both of them keep wondering if they should talk to each other or not. A few days later, it's Dasa's birthday. Feeling surrounded by loneliness, Dasa starts thinking that she should talk to someone. She decides to try talking to Levi. Using a whiteboard, Dasa writes and asks Levi, "What's your name?" At this, Levi remembers the rules and writes, "It's not allowed to share our names." But Dasa smiles and writes, "My name is Dasa." Levi, without thinking too much, also writes his name, Levi. Dasa writes again, "Today is my birthday." And as she celebrates her birthday, she starts dancing happily. Then writes, "Do you know how to dance?" Levi replies, "No, I don't know how to dance at all." To this, Dasa asks, "Then what do you know how to do?" Levi writes on his board, "I'm pretty good at shooting." Dasa decides to test his shooting skills. She places a small bottle on her tower in front of him. Levi takes aim at the target and shatters the bottle with a single shot. Now, Dasa isn't one to stay behind. She also shows her shooting skills by perfectly hitting and breaking slowly. Their communication starts to increase. But just as the two are talking, Dasa suddenly looks down towards the pit. She immediately alerts Levi. Look down. As soon as Levi looks down, his eyes widen in shock. There aren't just one or two, but thousands of creatures are climbing upward without wasting a second. Levi picks up his sniper rifle and starts shooting the creatures one by one. But there are too many. Levi can't handle them alone. So Dasa also begins firing from her machine gun, raining bullets on the monsters. Now the creatures begin climbing toward Drasa's tower too. Both of them continue firing from their respective sides. Then Levi notices that one of the creatures has reached the top of Drasa's tower just as it's about to attack her. Levi uses his sniping skills from the west tower and shoots the creature dead with a perfect shot. After everything settles down, Dasa smiles and writes, "This was the best birthday of my life." After forming this friendship, both of them begin to enjoy their days. Now they no longer feel lonely at all. But one day, Dasa feels extremely sad because it's February 14th, and she remembers that her father had said, "If I don't die because of cancer in the next few days, I'll end my life myself on February 14th. Dasa writes on her board for Levi to read, "Today I feel very lonely. If someone was here with me today, it would have been nice." Levi had wanted to meet Dasa since the very first day, and now he can't stop himself anymore. He plans to go to Drasa's side. He finds a way to reach the East Tower using a rocket launcher. The next morning, he uses the launcher to shoot a strong rope toward Drasa's tower. Dasa comes outside and ties the rope securely to a tree so that Levi can climb across it to reach her tower. Without wasting time, Levi begins crossing the rope towards the East Tower. But in the middle, he gets stuck. The rope's slope ends, and he has to move forward using only his hands. After struggling for about half an hour, Levi finally reaches Drasa's tower. Dasa welcomes him and jokes, "You smell of sweat. Take a shower first, then I'll meet you." Levi laughs at this. He doesn't say anything, just nods and agrees. Dasa playfully hides his clothes somewhere far away and watches him through the CCTV camera as he bathes in the tower's shower. Afterward, Levi and Dasa sit together for a long time talking. Dasa tells him her entire story and says that she has no one left in this world. Only her father was alive, but he must have killed himself yesterday. Levi also tells Dasa about his terrifying nightmares and his past experiences during his days in the U.S. Army. Talking like this, night falls. Dasa plays soft music, and both of them start dancing to the rhythm. During the dance, they come closer to each other, and romance begins to bloom between them. After a while, Levi looks at Dasa and smiles. He says, "I've written a poem for you. When we get out of here, I'll give it to you." The next day, Levi has to return to his west tower. He says goodbye to Dasa and begins moving back along the rope. Dasa keeps watching him as he goes. But then we see that several creatures are climbing toward the towers again. One of those creatures hits a landmine. One piece hits the rope, cutting it apart, and Levi falls rapidly into the pit below. Seeing Levi fall, Dasa doesn't think twice. She grabs her parachute and jumps into the pit after him. Falling deep into the pit, Dasa lands in a fast-flowing underground river. She struggles, but somehow manages to swim and reach the riverbank. On the other hand, Levi's luck favors him. He falls onto a large tree, breaking his fall. When he opens his eyes, he sees a huge worm-like creature crawling toward him to attack. He tries to protect himself, but just then the tree branch snaps and Levi falls down onto the roots below. The roots of the tree start wrapping around Levi, trapping him tightly. Before the roots can strangle him to death, Dasa arrives just in time. She quickly pulls out her knife and starts cutting through the roots, freeing Levi. After that, Levi and Dasa look around. Suddenly, a few terrifying creatures emerge from behind the trees and attack them. A fierce battle breaks out. Levi grabs his gun and fires his first bullets straight into a creature's head. One after another, the two of them manage to kill both creatures. Then Levi notices something strange. The creature's dead body is wearing an old American Army uniform. He suddenly remembers what JD once told him, that back in 1940, 10,400 American soldiers were sent down into this pit, and not a single one ever returned. Levi and Dasa continue walking until they reach a horrifying place that looks like something straight out of a nightmare. All around them are rotting human bodies, and even more disturbing, plants are growing out of their flesh. It looks as if some deadly virus has taken over this entire place. Suddenly, there's movement among the trees. Levi and Dasa immediately realize that the creatures are chasing them again. As they run, Levi spots an old tunnel in the side of a mountain. They rush inside and realize it's actually an abandoned laboratory. Inside, everything is broken: glass, machinery, and rusted containers scattered everywhere. Levi finds an old DVD tape. When he plays it, a woman appears on the screen. The woman says, "We were working here on a secret chemical missile project. Hundreds of scientists were part of it, but one day, an earthquake hit this place. The shock caused the missile's chemical to leak, releasing poisonous gas into the air. Within hours, people started getting infected. I'm infected too," she says, showing her stomach. "We informed the military about everything. We told them to bomb this entire area to stop the infection from spreading, but they didn't listen." After watching the video, Levi finds a modern computer in the lab. He's shocked. How could such an advanced computer exist in a place this old? He turns it on and freezes when he sees the data. It reveals the existence of a company called Dark Lake, which creates paramilitary forces. The company had been collecting infected samples from this area to conduct experiments, turning their soldiers into super soldiers. That's why no country ever wanted this place to be destroyed. Levi also discovers that inside this pit lies a massive missile. Once activated, it would destroy everything within a 4.2-kilometer radius. Both Levi and Dasa finally understand the truth. The woman who sent them here, Lady Bardo, is the owner of this place, and she's been using it for her own sinister purposes. To keep the secret hidden, she always assigned people who had no one to look for them, and after a year of service, they were killed, just like JD, so no one could ever reveal the truth. Just as they prepared to escape, a horse-riding creature appears, throws a rope, and drags Dasa away. Levi searches frantically for her, but she's nowhere to be found. In his search, he comes across a massive missile, the same one he read about in the Dark Lake files. Now, everything makes sense. The previous guards who said, "If you ever hear the siren, run for your life," were actually warning about this missile. Meanwhile, Dasa is still trapped by the creature. She struggles violently and finally breaks free. A brutal fight follows between her and the creature. Levi arrives in time to help, and together they set the creature on fire, burning it to ashes. Now, the only thing left is to escape this cursed place. But the path ahead is even more dangerous. As they move forward, they enter a terrifying area where humans and plants seem to have merged, like the aftermath of a horrifying experiment. They step carefully, but suddenly, Dasa slips, activating the plants. The vines wrap around her, trapping her tightly. Levi doesn't hesitate. He rushes forward, using all his strength to free her. Then, using a bomb, he blows up the entire plant system. Levi and Dasa barely manage to escape alive. After walking a bit further, they find a garage with a Jeep inside. They jump into the vehicle and drive off, trying to find a way out. After covering some distance, they see a long rope hanging all the way up to the watchtower. But now the creatures have followed them there too. Climbing the rope by hand would make them easy targets, so Levi comes up with a clever plan. He ties the Jeep to the rope and starts using it to climb up while staying inside. That way, their hands remain free to fight. The creatures attack viciously and a fierce battle begins, but there are too many of them. Then, Levi gets an idea. He opens the Jeep's petrol tank, and Levi pours the leaked petrol onto the creatures and sets it on fire, burning all of them alive. Finally, they manage to climb all the way up to the top. Now, both of them know the truth. Even if they complete their year-long duty, they'll still be killed afterward. So they make a bold decision. They will not protect this place anymore. Instead, they'll destroy it completely, so no other soldier ever gets trapped here again. After destroying it, they'll go far away and start a new life together. Dasa tells Levi, "I have a place to hide in France. We'll go there, get married, and live the rest of our lives together." Levi agrees, but says he first needs to return to his tower. "I'll plant a bomb there," he says, "and activate the missile too. That way, the entire place will be wiped out. Levi climbs back up to his tower using the rope. Meanwhile, Lady Bardo contacts him and asks suspiciously, "Did you go down into the pit because someone turned on our computer?" Levi lies. "No, I didn't go there." But Bardo already knows the truth. She's seen everything through the security cameras. She knows both Levi and Dasa went inside the pit, still pretending not to know. Bardo says, "If you didn't go down there, then it must be that guard from the West Tower. Do one thing. Kill the person in the West Tower." Dasa, she broke the rules. Levi agrees out loud, but Bardo isn't fooled. She knows he won't kill Dasa, and she realizes the two are planning to escape and expose everything to the world, so she decides to come there herself. But before she arrives, Levi and Dasa have already prepared everything. Levi moves far from the tower and takes the longest shot of his life. He fires directly at the tower's base, hitting the spot connected to the missile. Instantly, a loud siren starts blaring. Time is running out. Levi and Dasa start running as fast as they can, because once the missile explodes, it will destroy everything within a 4.2-kilometer radius. They sprint through the jungle with all their strength. Dasa manages to get far enough away to save herself, but Levi's leg is injured, slowing him down. Meanwhile, Bardo also realizes the missile is about to go off, and just then, it activates. A massive explosion shakes the entire land. Fire and shockwaves spread everywhere. Barto's helicopter is caught in the blast and she dies instantly. Dasa manages to survive, having escaped beyond the 4.2-kilometer danger zone, but Levi is caught in the explosion. The shockwave throws him into the water below. The pit and all its creatures are destroyed completely. Now only Dasa survives. She stands on a high cliff, waiting for Levi to return. Night falls, but there's still no sign of him. Tears fill her eyes as she realizes Levi is gone forever. Months later, the story shifts forward in time. Dasa has started a new life now, working as a waitress in a hotel in France. But one day, as she turns around, she freezes. Levi is standing right in front of her. He's alive. She runs to him and hugs him tightly. And with that heartwarming moment, the story comes to an end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories.